We seem to report this story every year. More Canadians are starting to rely on food banks to feed themselves and their families. 2025 has seen a trend of increased prices for food due to a number of factors. So what has this year looked like for food banks trying to catch up to that demand? For more on that, we have reached out to Neil Hetherington. He's the CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank in Toronto. He joins us from the distribution hub. Neil, thank you so much for taking the time. As we just mentioned, 2025, another year where certainly hasn't been easy for food banks such as your own to operate. Tell us a little bit about what this year has been like for you.
Well, it's been the worst year on record, not only here in Toronto with the Daily Bread Food Bank, but right across the country. Some 2.8 million Canadians every single month are going to a food bank. 1 in 10 Canadians, 1 in 10 Torontonians are now coming to the Daily Bread Food Bank, and 1 in 4 Canadians have some level of food insecurity. It has been the worst year, and so we're very hopeful for change in 2026.
We saw food prices rise this year, so people don't have as much to donate when it comes to buying power. I'm assuming, getting less money from people donating, more people in need because of those food prices. What is that doing to your ability to keep up?
Well, the food budget here has gone from $1.5 million before the pandemic to $22 million per year. So it's been incredibly difficult. And just as you mentioned, food prices have gone up at 3 times the level of CPI. And so it's been very difficult for people to be able to buy the food that they need. And when it's difficult for them to buy the food that they need, they're having to turn to the food bank. And so that increases the number of people that we are seeing. It also increases the cost that we have to be able to feed the need.
I feel like I ask you and people running other food banks in Canada this question every year, and the answer is the same in many ways, but at the same time, I'm always shocked every year by the answer in terms of the demographics, the people that are coming into the food bank and the frequency that they're coming in at. Who is using food banks?
Well, the people that have always been with us are those that are on disability benefits across the country. We treat the most vulnerable in an atrocious way, and so they have to rely on friends, family, and charity in order to make ends meet. But the new thing is individuals between 19 and 44, 60% of them having a university education and 50% of them having full-time employment. They should not need to be here at the food bank. And this past Christmas Eve, I was here just after we closed, and there was a single mom there with her 2 children, 4 years old, in that range, with an empty wagon, hopeful that on Christmas Eve they might be able to get the food that they needed and that they have a right to. We were able to get them food, but it just never was this way before, and we're hopeful that there will be policy changes that allow every Canadian to thrive in community.
Let's get into that. 2026 is a new year. We've got a new federal government in place. There will be municipal elections in some parts of the country. Our government's doing enough, and what would you like to see them do in 2026 to help out here?
Well, there wouldn't be 2.8 million Canadians going to food banks each month if all politicians were doing their job and making sure that Canadians could thrive in community. And it's all levels of government, and all levels of government have failed on their poverty reduction strategies. But, I think we got to go into 2026 with a sense of hope and a sense of optimism. This is a season of hope. And so we got to be mindful that where there is the new Build Canada Homes opportunity, and that will see results in 5 to 7 years with new homes being built across the country. There's the new Canada Disability Benefit. Provincially, this is a responsibility. And so we want to make sure that not only, people have access to good, decent housing, but income supports are appropriate. And we start to see a change in precarious employment, which has caused individuals, as I mentioned earlier, who have all the full-time employment that all the employment that they need, but not the income in order to survive in their community.
If changes like those aren't made, in your opinion, and things stay status quo like they are right now, how long is that sustainable for Daily Bread and other food banks?
Well, we've made a commitment to the city here at the Daily Bread Food Bank that we will always rise to the occasion and make sure that everybody who comes in through the doorway of this food bank gets the food that they need. And that commitment remains firm. But it has been a struggle, and I'm grateful every single day for the volunteers and the staff. But it isn't the way that it should be. It's not sustainable. We need a country where people can live, work, and play in their communities. And that means that those 3 items, precarious employment, income supports, and affordable housing, those 3 things get done, and we'll start to have a more just society.
Neil Hetherington, CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank in Toronto. Appreciate the work you do. Please keep it up and appreciate your time today.
Thanks very much, Mark.